Hello everyone, I'm JustHearMeowt. Welcome to my channel. History's most boring trial ends with history's most boring sentencing. That's about all I got to sum up today. But we will watch the Brian Walshe sentencing, where he officially receives his invitation to his forever home, the Massachusetts State Prison. Now there's not that much video to it, but I will be joined by Suma, and we just got to get this thing over with. For those of you who are new here, go ahead and check out the playlist in the description of this video to show much more entertaining content than is to find much more entertaining content than this trial. But in all seriousness, if you do enjoy what you see, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already. And remember the #1 rule: we're here to have fun and talk about stupid criminals. So hello to everyone with us in the chat, hello to the replay gang, and with that said, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome on this Thursday night as the Seahawks battle the Los Angeles Rams on the gridiron. We're currently losing by 6. Let me bring up our co-host here for this. But before I do that, I don't know if anyone noticed, there's a stream directly after this one scheduled for 45 short minutes away. And it is the return of Lord. So make sure you stick around for that. The Too Raw, Too Furious call, which segues nicely into my co-host. Well, that was a nice segue, huh? You just did it.
Raw, Too Furious.
Hello, Suma.
Hi.
No, I was going to say the special thing about the Too Raw, Too Furious is I think it was the first Lorne call that we played where you were in the stream. Like, it was your first introduction to Lorne.
Oh, you mean I was in the chat?
You were in the chat. It was part of Sarah Boone Letters Part 2.
Is that what we're playing tonight?
Yeah, that's what we're playing on the Too Raw, Too Furious.
Is the robot in that one?
Yes.
Okay, then it may have been the first one, because that's when I knew that.
Yeah. All right, well, but first, before we get to have the fun of Lorne, we got to get this loser out of the way.
All right, I have 2 motions up here, one from each of.
First, I don't understand his man. He's just sitting there like this the whole time. And I did not hear, I don't know. Did you hear any place where they said?
I haven't heard anything about this.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
No.
Somebody tell me if they can catch in here somewhere where they mention or ask Brian, do you want to say anything? Because I don't.
Doesn't his attorney look like she's thinking about making a life change?
Yeah. She's
you know,
what am I doing here?
Maybe I should go work on a farm or something.
So they're going to get through their boring motions at the beginning here.
In a minute.
Are there any impact statements?
You are unmuted.
Yeah.
So let me start
We get one impact statement.
by,
Everything else was written and just turned in.
excuse me, taking a drink of water. Let me start by listing what the court has reviewed in preparation for.
So it's a little bit sped up, 125, but it's not. And then I cut out the little long pauses because she was pausing as well.
For this sentencing, to make sure that everything you think that I have reviewed, I have in fact received and reviewed. So I've received the parties' sentencing memos. That comprises one sentencing memo submitted, I think, yesterday or the day before, late in the day before, from the Commonwealth. The defense has provided a sentencing memo along with a supplement that I received this morning. I think that was filed yesterday after the close of the business day. I also have received various victim impact statements in writing, to include victim impact statement on behalf of the 3 minor children from the Department of Children and Family Services, DCF. I've also received victim impact statements written from Melissa Kirby and from Peter and Pam Kirby.
Yeah, I don't know. Massachusetts is kind of weird. A lot of options. I don't understand why he's not wearing prison yellow either, or prison orange either. Why is he not in a jumpsuit? Massachusetts is weird. Massachusetts.
And I sought out and shared with the parties and have reviewed various sentencing commission information, as well as guideline calculation from probation as well as Mr. Walsh's carry and triple I, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And I've now just received and will review, prior to deciding my sentence, a letter from Diana Walsh. As an initial matter, is there anything that the parties submitted that I didn't just now
He's not wearing a suit. He's wearing like a sweater, like a cardigan or
list
something.
that you expected me, want me to review before sentencing? Comma first.
Your Honor, there will be a victim.
I did think the prosecution did make a good, like, not that it was going to matter, right? But for what they said, I think it was
given by Anna's
effective.
sister, Alexandra Dimitrovich, and she's prepared to give that to the court.
Okay, but as far as written materials, any other written materials that you are hoping me to review before I impose sentence?
No other written materials, and I just want to know that FTR is not on at this point in time, and I don't know if the court needs that on. I know we have a court reporter and we're in good hands, but sometimes we've been running low.
All right, I thank you for pointing that out. We do, when we have the court reporter, that is the primary method of memorializing the events, but always good to have a backup, and I see that Madam Clerk has put it on now. For the defense, are there any other written materials that you wish the court to review?
You have everything.
All right, let me just take a moment to review this letter.
I left the parts where he's laughing and joking with his stupid lawyer. Like, oh, my mom wrote a really good letter. I think it'll help me. Yeah, Brian, it's still going to be life in prison. You're muted. You're muted.
She's saying, I hate you.
I hate you. You couldn't get a stupid Tic Tac this entire trial, and you've been breathing your hot breath,
once.
hot jail breath on my face the entire time, and you look even more like an owl today than any other day before today.
It's just amazing. Like, what? First of all, is he trying to grow a goatee?
I don't know.
And why did he have to do all this? Couldn't he just plead guilty and be done with it? Like, why?
Remember, he couldn't plead to first degree.
Oh, right. Okay, well, all right.
Not that he would have.
Maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't
I
take
don't know. Whatever, he may have.
I don't know.
So, I mean, if you can't plead guilty for first degree,
Uh-huh.
what if you say you're guilty? How does the trial go? Or you can't do that? You have to put on a rigorous defense, even if you.
I don't know.
All right. What am I doing? I don't know. You don't know.
I don't. It's a Massachusetts thing.
Yeah.
Stupid smile.
Yeah. Face. The whole face. You know, his mother, you heard, or maybe we even talked about it, that his mother was kicked out a few times on the West Coast.
And she's reading her boring ass letter. Oh, look, right there. That's the look. Look at this weirdo. Looks over at the. He moves very bird-like. He's always cocking his head.
Yeah.
Looking. It's sudden like movements. Yeah, like an owl.
And his beady eyes looking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow.
You looking at me? Is the camera on me?
Like when a pet accidentally catches the camera.
Yeah. He's writing a note to his lawyer like, are they going to keep the camera on me the whole time?
Yeah. I've noticed that he's been very well dressed this whole trial. His mother must be seeing
his mother. Yeah, his mother. He's not using he's not shopping from the jail wardrobe.
No, he didn't turn into this kind of asshole for no reason.
Right. He's probably all Gucci.
Brooks Brothers or something.
He's probably wiping the corner of his lips because he's afraid he's got like white buildup from the toothpaste or something. He's like,
I don't think he cares.
He's like,
Maybe.
I just noticed the camera's looking at me. So I just. What's she smiling about?
Well, maybe she noticed the cameras are there and she.
You know, I didn't even cut her up for like a couple of hours, and they're treating this like
Tell
it's
if
a
she's
crime of the
40 or
century.
80.
She looks like that
know what I
actress.
mean?
Yeah, she was on news radio. I don't remember her name, but she looks like that actress grown up, like older. Like, yeah, you can't tell if she had a lot of sun, or is she a young 80, or is she an old 40?
Right. It doesn't look like she's had a lot of sun. It's just a certain look. Like,
well, she's redhead, so any sun.
right.
Would-
That's true too.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, sometimes redheads are, yeah, she's that kind of coloring. Right, Ohio Palm. She's smiling because she's almost done with this.
We'll start with the Commonwealth's presentation of whatever victim impact statements that you wish me to hear orally.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth would ask Alexandra Dmitrovic to address the court.
And she looks like she's gonna cry half the time. The lawyer does.
This lawyer or
His lawyer, yeah.
yeah. Well,
Your Honor,
Okay, so this is Anna's sister.
she's cute.
So she's got a little bit of an accent,
Mhm.
but I kept it 100%. I do think it's weird how the judge stands there and like kind of stares.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, they
like,
did
especially
spring-
if it's raised, or I don't know, maybe it'd be even more
Right.
uncomfortable if she's just standing.
Maybe
like-
she's sitting. Are you sure she's standing?
I think she's standing because this is exactly how she looked when she would get up and stand and talk to the jury. And you
Yeah.
can see her chairs back there.
Yeah. Strange.
good morning, everyone. My name is Alexandra Dmitrievich, and I'm the sister of Anna Walshe. I am here today to represent myself and my mother. I want to share with the court how losing my sister in January 2023 has forever changed our lives and left us with an unbearable emptiness. Losing my sister Anna so unexpectedly.
No, I know she. No, Ohio Palm Mom. Yes, I know she's trying to be respectful. It looks weird. Like,
Oh, is she? I mean, I don't know. I feel like they always just sit there. I mean, I'm sure she's not
I
trying to
know.
be disrespectful.
I think it's
she's not
this
trying to
court's kind of
intimidate
thing.
her, but you know, yeah.
but I think it makes it awkward for the person testifying because then, like, am I supposed to look at you over here, or am I supposed to look out at the crowd that's out there? Like, what?
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
just-
I never know where to look in any situation, so this is just even worse.
Has altered our world in ways we never imagined. Anna was not just my sister. She was someone I grew up with, someone who knew me in ways no one else ever will. I struggle with the grief that comes without warning, hoping every morning that this is all just a terrible dream.
Yeah, Forever Wander points out another thing that I didn't realize. They haven't even been able to have a funeral because they don't have a death certificate.
Right.
So now they're going to try and get a death certificate because the church won't allow the burial. It's probably like an
There's
Orthodox
nothing to
thing or
bury.
something.
I mean, they just have to have a service, right?
But they won't allow them to do it without a death certificate.
Right. They'll get a death certificate. I mean, if he's convicted of murder, right?
Well, this prosecutor said they're still trying. Like,
The most painful part of this loss is knowing her children must now grow up without their mother's hand to hold. They now face a lifetime of milestones, big and small, where her absence will be deeply and painfully felt. This tragedy has also devastated my mother. She has developed severe depression and chronic exhaustion. Every single day, she carries the weight of losing her daughter. Our entire family is still learning how to live with this emptiness. Holidays and birthdays are now silent reminders of her absence. Because of the circumstances of my sister's death, we were denied the opportunity to say a final goodbye and to observe our customs, adding a layer of profound, unfinished grief to our loss. Anna was a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. Her life was unfairly taken. We miss her beyond words. While we recognize that no sentence can bring her back, we ask the court to consider the permanent, long-lasting impact this loss has had on our family, especially her children. We stand in agreement with the Commonwealth and their recommendations. Finally, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the investigators, the Commonwealth's office, and everyone who has worked tirelessly on this case. Your dedication to seeking justice for my sister has provided our family with a sense of support during our darkest hours. Your Honor, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share the full weight of this incomprehensible act. Anna will never be forgotten. We will carry her light and her memory with us forever. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian's such a piece of trash.
Yeah. It also
Now-
it shows you like how smart and educated her sister must have been.
Mhm. Everything Brian wasn't. Brian just was a pretend.
Right.
He wanted to be
Faux-
sophisticated and everything, but he's such a idiot.
Yeah.
And somebody else said it above. Why do anyone kill their spouse? Yeah, I don't understand that either. Of anyone, like particularly spousal murder, you're the number one suspect. Like you are, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or lover, right? Why? You're the number one suspect automatically, and you haven't even done anything yet, and they're going to investigate you. Why would you ever think you're going to get? They're blocking people up now for their, like they'll murder this one, and then they're locking them up for ones back in the 80s now. Like you're not going to get away with it. Just stop it. No, I don't know. Like I was watching an interrogation today of a police officer who had an affair with this woman. I missed the first part of it, but I listened to it, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was half asleep. But basically he got her pregnant. And then when she was 8.5 months pregnant, she supposedly killed herself and then wrote a note saying, "Oh, I've slept with so many men. I'm so embarrassed. I can't live with it." Right. But of course, the paper didn't have her fingerprints on it. It only had his fingerprints on it. Her blood was all over him. I mean, he's a cop. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, obviously thinking because he had an affair before, his wife was going to leave him. Then he would have to pay child support to his ex-wife now. And then to her, who he wasn't with. And he's trying to lie and say, no, it wasn't me. And then they're like, well, we're just going to get your DNA. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Or like, of course you would give your DNA. You'd eliminate yourself because he's saying the whole time, no, I never slept with her. Never slept. She was just obsessed with me. And then at the end, he's like, actually, I did sleep with her. Yeah, there's a chance it could be my baby.
I've seen this.
Your baby.
I've seen this.
Yeah, you see that. Yeah. Of course it's your baby. You are toast, dude.
I mean, we knew that when you walked in, you asshole.
Yeah.
He should have it doesn't matter at that point, but idiots.
Yeah, like Choo-Choo's you. It has him going in and out of apartment. Like he's a dumb. Like, what are you doing? Maybe some people just want to go to prison. They're like, if I have to, like, it's either prison and I'm locked up forever, or I don't want to pay child support forever, right? I'd rather just be in jail. So
that's why I'm always so surprised when these people who commit these stupid crimes or do these ridiculous, like, horrible things try so hard to stay out of prison. I'm like, you had to have known this this might happen.
This should have been on your vision board.
Right. Even if you didn't have a great, it's hard to talk your way out of this. I get it, but don't make crazy shit up and make yourself look like an asshole and torture everyone more. Letitia Stout.
Right. Larry Powers, $2. It wasn't me. The song. It wasn't me. Started banging on the counter. And then Brian, just somehow it's the combination of his total lack of any emotion, plus him literally destroying her body and throwing it away in dumpsters. I mean, Brian, you could have saved yourself so much. I mean, maybe it was nothing to him, right? But
yeah,
I don't know.
Right. I have
basically
read
a life of crime that he lived in his adulthood. It seems,
right.
So.
I mean, it's kind of blasé sentencing at this point, right, Brian? You're always getting convicted of everything you do.
Yeah, this was going to happen. Why you had to actually murder someone, I don't know, but okay.
The money, because he's
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah, but I mean, the money, yeah. He's lazy, but you know, it takes energy to, I mean, do all the things he did, and even the fraud and the he's
because
lazy
he's going to
when it
get
comes to
money.
honest work.
Because he's going to get money from it. That's why he's. Well,
You get money from having a job too, you know.
I can get $1 million doing this. This is like $1 million in 2 days, like just like 80,000 for 2 fake paintings.
Right.
This jackpot.
Minus the $1 million.
Right, minus $1 million.
The Commonwealth.
Yeah, I'd love to see what BS his mom wrote. The judge
My son
doesn't
Brian
like
is
it.
wonderful.
Brian, you need to know Brian. He was such a little baby.
When he was a little boy, oh, was he cute? His father and I used to call him a genius.
He was always painting. He was always copying the photos on the walls.
He was a real talent.
And we told Brian it looks like the original.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, where'd you get a Picasso?
Also, Andy Warhol, I mean, a lot of his, now that I think about it, a lot of his work were like just silk screens of Campbell soup cans and stuff.
Right,
So
right, exactly. Yeah.
Sentencing recommendation.
Oh, I wanted to say, okay.
Thank you. What's first?
I don't want to say, well, okay. Let it play.
Recommendation, the written recommendation. But
Aaron
I'll have you
Lister
state
says,
it
let's put it on the refrigerator where we can all see it.
on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth is requesting that the defendant be sentenced to a series of consecutive sentences on the charges to run from and after his federal case in which he received a sentence of 37 months in February of 2024. The first charge that the Commonwealth would seek an incarceration component on is count 003, and that the defendant be sentenced to 2.5 to 3 years. The second charge would be that he, on the misleading 002, to run from and after 003, that he receive a sentence of 18 to 20 years. And that the third charge, the murder, in the first degree, that the defendant be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole to run from and after 003 and 002. And Your Honor, if I may be heard in our argument.
Please.
Thank you, Your Honor. When you look at the facts of these three charges, each one calls for a harsh penalty. If you look at the illegal conveyance of a body, the defendant did not just, the person that he illegally conveyed was his wife and the mother of his 3 children. And he did it by removing her remains from the family home and placing them in buckets, in garbage bags, and dumpsters around the Commonwealth. He denied.
Just dig a hole, Brian. What the hell? He had a big enough prop. Well, I guess they would have found it. But I mean, they were going to find her anyway.
As you just heard, her family the opportunity to have any customs or burial. There is no grave, there is no memorial. And he did this all in an effort to destroy evidence. On the misleading component, Your Honor, while we do mention the potential of probation, we put that in there only as data so that you understand the efforts that went in to trying to find Anna based on the defendant's series of lies. These lies were all done in an effort to cover up his crime and destroy evidence. We're also, while we put in that, we are not seeking a probation sentence, but we put it in there so the court, if it wanted to contemplate one, understood there was an option to do it that would prevent the defendant potentially from trying to profit from this.
So the only mechanism for me, as I see it anyway, the only mechanism for me under the restrictions of state law,
Yes, Your Honor.
it's an either or situation. That is, either I incarcerate him for an additional period of time, either concurrent or consecutive, or I put him on probation following the life sentence, or maybe it even starts today. But the only way that restitution can be achieved on count 2 is through a probationary sentence. So I don't think there's any other mechanism for me doing that. So I don't know how you achieve that goal if without a probationary sentence and mandating it as a condition of probation. And so I wanted the Commonwealth to be clear with me.
Can you still hear me fine? Okay.
You're making note of it in passing, but you are not asking me to put him on a probationary sentence. Is that correct?
We are not, Your Honor. It is data that you can use in order to determine the scope of his lies in which the police relied on them. And you can see the cost that went into investigating the disappearance of Anna Walshe, but we are not asking for probation on this matter.
And the same question with regard to the issue of restitution that I heard rumblings of yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same result.
Same result. It is, again, it's data for you in determining your sentence, but we are not asking for it.
All right. Just wanted to be clear on that.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then on the murder, again, this was the murder of his wife and the mother of his 3 children. And the cover-up of this murder, Your Honor, deserves some analysis. If you look at the first internet search, which occurred at approximately 4:52 a.m. on the 1st, how to dispose of a body, and how they evolve into eventually 11:24 a.m., how to dispose of body parts after a murder, it appears the defendant at this point in time is committed to getting rid of evidence of the crime. And it leads to the shopping sprees later on that night at Lowe's and CVS and Stop and Shop. However, if you look at the internet searches on the second, how to dismember a body, and is a hacksaw the best tool to dismember a body? It's a reasonable inference he hasn't started the action yet. And
I thought this was a really good point to bring up. I don't know why they didn't do it in closing. Right, but this is how long he's playing. You know, this is how much time he has with the dead wife. He's like, well, I want to make sure I do it right. So it wasn't like an impulse thing. You're still muted, but
it results in the second shopping spree to Home Depot that afternoon, which means that Anna Walshe has been dead in that basement for over 24 hours. The same home his children are in, the same home the babysitter's at, the same home his mother has come to visit. And in the evening between the second and the third is when the dismemberment occurs. And on the third, we see him going to dumpsters, getting rid of the remains. In the defendant's...
And we saw him dump something on the first, which had flesh on it, right? Tissue.
Sentencing memo. And I want to note, the defendant was represented by 2 excellent lawyers who are titans in this industry, who I have the highest respect for.
Yeah, so this part made me mad. Guess what his stupid attorneys argued? They said this was cruel and unusual punishment, being in prison for life. This is insane to say this is cruel and unusual for this crime. And
who's saying that? His attorney.
His attorneys are saying that. Yeah. It's just he handles it well.
They say the Commonwealth's recommendation is inhumane. I suggest that that's not the appropriate word choice. Because if we were to look at that word, I would suggest that describes the defendant's actions and the depravity of his actions of murdering his wife, dismembering her, and getting rid of her remains by throwing her away like garbage. The question might become whether or not this is a cruel and unusual punishment that the Commonwealth is recommending. And I direct your honor to one case. It's Cepulonis, Cepulonis versus the Commonwealth, 384 Mass 495.
I don't think Glennie will plea. You think she's going to plea?
I don't think she's going to plea, but I think I just have a feeling that she might, which means
okay. It's on the table.
Right. I wouldn't be shocked if she pled. I don't know her. And here's why, because I don't know much about her general vibe other than, and that tells me that she's not a total idiot.
Why is it taking so long? This murder happened like 3 years ago, and they were talking about her not getting bonded out today. I'm like, what? Just get the trial on already. Well,
she just wants to exercise her constitutional rights. If Clenny has a brain, she will take a plea, unlike Sarah. Right. And we know Clenny's smarter than Sarah because everyone's smarter than Sarah. And we've already seen, Clenny has probably had just one lawyer, I think. She has. Yeah. It's just a very different. There's no one like Sarah, as we've established.
This is forever wonder. It's so possible to think of those boys being in the house with their body for 24 hours. What do you think? Brian did some like Brian type thing where he's like wrapped her up and he's like, "Oh, mommy's sleeping." Like if they see her or something. Like,
I think he probably had his mother come get them. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Watch them.
Yep, that makes sense. I want to say real quick,
Bob, I have a problem. Can you come over?
Yes, darling. Hold on.
Of course I can. I'll be right there.
Let me get the stable boy to draw the carriage. I want to say real quick, thank you to Nonfiction. I got my first Christmas present. She made this ornament and sent it to me, and I think it is very, very good.
How come Henry gets to send you things? Do you have a P.O. box, or you just...
I gave out an address for things to go to that I may or may not live at. So.
That's so cute.
I went and looked at a P.O. box. See how much these things cost? It's ridiculous.
I don't even pick up my own mail. I'm not going to a P.O. box.
What would you think it would be? Like, I was thinking, I can get a little P.O. box. What would you pay?
Maybe
for the convenience of it. What?
19 bucks a month, 19 bucks a month, maybe.
Yeah, I might do like 10 to 15, maybe 20 if it
I'm
was
New
like a
York
thing
City,
that
so
received
everything is-
packages.
Everything is more expensive here. So
It was like $35.
yeah,
Like it's like
I'm not shocked.
and
But
that's for like the smallest one. That's just for like something where they could throw envelopes in.
right, that's for. Well, you mean they don't even hold packages for you?
No, they would hold packages,
Slip or
right? But
whatever. yeah,
yeah.
so that's really for a business, and I guess if it's a business expense, it's worth it or whatever. I don't know.
yeah. Let her
But
power.
that's very nice. Is nonfiction here?
No, I don't think she's here. I gotta write
Very
it. I gotta
nice.
write her
Must have
back.
She print. She has a print, like a.
I don't know. But it was perfect. So
That's awesome.
digging a hole is hard work. That's why if you're gonna unalive someone, you should take the immortal advice of Nikki Santoro and have the hole dug already. There's a lot of holes in the desert. Yep. Casino. That's another movie you haven't seen, but
At $4.97.
no, you haven't seen it. I thought.
Correct. I've seen parts of it,
I don't know how you start watching that movie and then stop at any point. It's just one of those movies.
Well,
you
it wasn't that I
any point
started
you
it.
can
It's
watch
just
it.
been on enough times that I've seen some of it, and Diane Downs could have did that hole for him, except for she's incarcerated.
Yeah, it would have been too deep. She's been out there with a backhoe.
Yeah.
Like, how deep do you want it? 10 feet by 2? No.
She's already below, like screaming from the depths.
Yeah.
One case. To reach the level of cruel and unusual punishment, the punishment must be so disproportionate to the crime that it shocks the conscience and offends the notion of human dignity. I don't know if that's possible in this case, Your Honor.
It is not possible. You are correct, sir. It is impossible for any punish. They could have him drawn and quartered, ripped apart by horses. They could have tortured him at the end of Braveheart, and people would be like, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because human dignity was completely offended by the defendant's actions and how he treated his wife, how he disposed of her, and how he robbed her family and friends of the opportunity to bury her. There is no death certificate. The church will not allow a funeral to go on at this point in time. We are working on trying to work with the ME's office to see if we can get a death certificate to issue now based on the conviction and based on the plea. And when I looked behind me after the closing arguments, I realized that was the closest thing that those people had come to a wake because they never got together to mourn her. And that happened 3 years later. So with that, Your Honor, the Commonwealth does make a punishment that we recommend to you.
Suba lived with the gangster.
Yeah.
She lived the life.
Like, you know why he says that, right?
What? No, why?
Because my grandfather was kind of a gangster.
Oh, okay. La Cosa Nostra or like a different branch?
I mean, I sent you a picture of him with Joe Frazier in our text, but you didn't look at it. So
No, maybe I didn't know who Joe Frazier was.
really,
Who's Joe Frazier?
he's a boxer. For the days of you.
How would I know that's mobbed up?
Well, because he's making a mink coat for him.
Did he ask him to take a dive?
He was like,
You're going down in the fourth.
"You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes." See,
You're going to be sleeping with the fishes. See, you're going to have concrete boots.
We recognize it's
Concrete loafers, whatever they say.
harsh, but we think it's appropriate based on the
Yeah,
facts.
see? Yeah.
yeah.
You want-
See, supposing I don't like supposing.
Time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll hear from the defense. With respect.
Sorry, I kind of stepped over his line there. Said,
And based on the plea. And when I looked behind me after the closing arguments, I realized that was the closest thing that those people had come to a wake because they never got together to mourn her. And that happened 3 years later. So with that, Your Honor, the Commonwealth does
No
make
doubt.
a punishment that we recommend to you. We recognize it's harsh, but we think it's appropriate based on the facts. And I appreciate your time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, if
I'll
not
hear-
this sentence for this crime, then what is it for?
right. Right,
I mean, I just-
exactly.
Are they
And with
fucking
his
kidding? Oh,
history.
he's a criminal. He's a career
He
criminal.
had history. Like, it wasn't like this is the first blemish on his record. He is a federally convicted felon.
Like, they didn't even ask for a pre-sentencing investigation because that's not going to help him.
Yeah, like,
And,
no, we don't
it's
we
all
don't need to look
record.
into that.
No,
We don't need to
no,
look into that.
but I also think I think Owens probably shouldn't have, because nothing good came out of that. Not that it mattered. I mean, she was
Yeah.
going away forever, but
But you haven't heard anywhere where they said, "Do you want to make a statement?" Right? I haven't heard it yet.
Asking Brian?
If Brian wants to make a statement, I haven't heard that at all yet. She says, "Don't mess with Suma." Yeah, you're completely correct. Remember that stream like last Saturday where I played a little thing and it got demonetized? The next day I woke up and there was a horse head in my bed.
That's right. Next time you'll be sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
From the defense.
With respect to the first-degree murder conviction, although we made it clear from our memorandum that we do object to a life without parole sentence based on state and U.S. constitutional grounds.
No, Deborah Rockhill, just a thought, what if mom did it and covered up for it? I mean, I've seen this floating around there. I don't believe it at all.
No. I think she helped him out, but...
Yeah, she helped him out after the fact.
That's after the fact, yeah.
But no, his mom, look how... He's
not a criminal, to my knowledge.
Well, here, let me break this out for all of these people thinking this is possible, right? We've seen Brian's mom. She looks like she could be blown over by a calm breeze, right? Anna was working out all the time. I'm sure she was in there on the speed bag in the gym, right? She was athletic. She probably couldn't overpower fat ass Brian, though, if he's got a knife, right? So I guarantee you Brian's mom would have been in a body bag if she tried to come at Anna, right?
Possibly, yeah. Also,
she's gonna be a lot faster than her
make
too.
Any sense? He wouldn't.
No.
She wouldn't. This isn't. You know, it makes more sense that he did it and then she kind of helped him out.
Yeah, and Ravina Denver's right. Brian is a sociopath. He'd never take the fall for his mom or anyone. Right? He would be up there saying, "I didn't do it. My mother did it. Sorry, mom." Because then I can collect on the life insurance. That's another out for him. If his mom murdered her, he collects on life insurance. He doesn't have to do any cleanup.
Based on the Eighth Amendment, we understand the court has no discretion. With respect to indictments 2 and 3, you do. I think inhumane is the right word, respectfully. To sentence someone to prison posthumously to send a message is humane. It's dehumanizing him. Regardless of what happened
Dehumanizing Brian. Brian has done that himself.
In this courtroom, regardless of the convictions, regardless of what anyone believes about this person, he is a human.
So how embarrassing is this? The man was just found guilty of first-degree murder, killing his wife in the presence
cutting
of
her up.
Basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he is a
scattering her about in various ill-reputed liquor stores.
Diane Walrus looks like Snape's from Harry Potter. Yeah. I think you meant Walsh, but Walrus as well.
And he has been a friend to many. The life sentence is mandatory, but to do consecutive sentences, I think, is inappropriate and is inhumane. Anytime there is a death, a murder, a loss of life, it is horrible, whether it's a loved one or a stranger. And the legislature
some are more horrible than others, and your client proved it.
Legislature has provided, regardless of our disagreement, that a life sentence without parole is mandatory. But that does not negate that he is a human being, and I don't think sentencing him to
it's debatable.
On and after time is appropriate. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. What he was convicted of were atrocious acts.
Ohio Palm Mom, what's the difference to him? He'll be dead. Because if on appeal, this is why they're arguing this. If on appeal, he can get it knocked down to second degree, because it's an automatic appeal in Massachusetts when it's first degree, right? First degree has no parole. Second degree does have a parole after time. And if he is serving them consecutively, then as soon as he finishes second degree, before he can do parole, he has to start the sentence for the next one, which is 20 years and another 3 years possibly, right? But if they're concurrent, after he's served enough time at a second degree to get parole, he has already served the other ones. This is why it's important to them.
We've heard from her family. We've heard from her friends. Their pain is unimaginable, and I'm not demeaning that, but I have the opportunity to speak for Brian today. And I'm asking the court to sentence him in line with the guidelines.
Opportunity? I would call it reluctant obligation. Reluctant?
And with the purpose
You're muted, Sima.
of sentencing.
People who work the grill at McDonald's are like, I have the opportunity to make you this hamburger today.
Yeah. The guy at the sewer exchange, a sewage treatment plant is like, I have the opportunity to sanitize and clean the wastewater today.
Yeah, just your job. That's all.
They're drawing lots every day. They're like, you're on gray water. Yeah, if you know what gray water is, it's like, there's gray water and there's black water. Black water is basically the sewage. Gray water, this is trailer talk, right? Is the stuff that's going down the sink and stuff, but not the toilets. No, I just learned this because they have actual gray and black handles, right? So, I drew gray water today. The other's got, I drew black water. Yeah. I don't even think it's separated like that in the sewage treatment plant, but
Punishment, justice, prevention of
black again. You guys are rigging this thing. It's like the 10th day in a row. It's bullshit.
future crimes, consecutive sentences. That's excessive and it doesn't meet those needs. So I'd ask the court to adopt the defendant's sentencing recommendation.
Just want to put on the record that the defendant, in making its argument with regard to inhumane aspect of any consecutive sentence, cited to a case in its brief, Donovan. And Donovan does not apply.
Yes, Florida guidelines are life without a parole for first degree, but if they can get it appealed down to second, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, then he has hope of getting out.
To this case.
How are they going to get it down to second?
Through appeals, saying that they have to go through and then say that there wasn't enough evidence. It was just the jury thinking this way, right? But
Donovan related to a larceny involving a single act that resulted in 7 different victims being victimized. The SJC, that was, I think, a 1985 case. The appellate courts in Massachusetts have long since distinguished Donovan, even in the case of larcenies, which is not the case that's before me, to recognize that even Donovan relates only to a single act case and not one with one purpose, as you could argue there was one purpose here, but more than one discrete offense. So I'm not persuaded by the logic of Donovan, even if it applied to this case, and even if it was as broad-reaching as the defense suggests in its sentencing memo, which the court finds it is not.
You can see the look on her face. Look at her eyes closed. She knows, Brian is Brian. Larry Powers, so generous. Thank you. $10. You have to be a cold-blooded psychopath to cut up a body and feel nothing. I used to recover human remains. Yeah, you told me about this. Used to recover human remains from aircraft crash sites in the Air Force, and it still haunts me. Brian feels nothing. He told me this while I was eating my tacos.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Larry. Yeah, no, I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah.
I same with the NTSB people. They talk about it's like all the things that happen to a human body in a tragedy, right? Versus like Chandler and Brian. That is just a different. You got people
carrying someone's head around. There's a problem.
Well, there's people like Dahmer and Ed Gein, right? But there's like something. There's something wired differently because they talk about it like it's actually rewired. They're like, I'm attracted to this. To the shininess of it.
Doing it.
There's a reason they're doing it.
They have to dispose of their mother's body.
Yes. It's just so weird. Like, and then you have to be so cold-hearted, or like you just have to be so dark to do that, and then not immediately just like turn yourself in after like not being able to do it, being like, oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, just the thought of killing, like. That's to me it wouldn't even come to all the rest, because it's like to actually think about going through killing someone, like, and just not good.
And then it's just imagine doing it to a stranger, but now this is your spouse or your parents with Chandler. Like, what are you doing? You're looking at their face the entire time.
Yeah. I think they also think it's going to be easy. You know, Chandler played a lot of video games, so I figured he probably just thought he could take that gun and just start shooting, and, you know.
I think it'd be even worse with your spouse, right? I mean, because you don't necessarily see your parents naked all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
he put them up with their clothes on, so.
No.
Yeah.
It's okay, Hope. Hope fell asleep.
I hope.
Stay awake for the Lauren stream after this.
Is Hope one who is into Lauren now?
There is no
I
task
don't know.
facing a judge
I'm just assuming she is, and she.
that is more important
Being as
or more
intelligent.
difficult than crafting an appropriate sentence. The legislature mandates that the only appropriate sentence for the jury's verdict, murder in the first degree, is life in prison without the possibility of parole. That sentence is immensely appropriate and just given your murderous acts and the life trauma that you've inflicted upon your own children. As to counts 2 and 3, I have wide discretion in sentencing. I want to state my rationale for your sentences on those 2 counts on the record now. I have considered various factors with regard to my sentence for counts 2 and counts 3, to which you pled guilty on November 18th, 2025. Specifically, I've considered the severity of the crimes, their nature and circumstances, and your role in those crimes, the need to deter others from committing comparable crimes, and your prior criminal record, namely your federal fraud case.
Not intentional, so I'm waiting on the Lauren stream. I just messaged.
As to the latter, your criminal history shows a long and well-documented history of deceitful and manipulative behavior. I've considered your character, or lack thereof, your behavior, and your background. With regard to the nature and circumstances of the offenses, as to indictment 002, in the approximately 4 hours of interviews spanning 4 days, you concocted a detailed, completely fabricated story of what happened to Anna Walshe on January 1st, 2023, in order to cover up your murder of her and disposal of her body. Your lies triggered a multi-day, extensive missing persons investigation. A command center was set up in Cohasset and was manned by various law enforcement, to include the Cohasset Police Department.
See his reaction right here? Okay, I'm going to back it up and let her say it again, but I'm thinking he's subconsciously wanting to say, like, I never told anyone to look for her. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
With regard to the nature and circumstances of the offenses, as to indictment 002, in the approximately 4 hours of interviews spanning 4 days, you concocted a detailed, completely fabricated story of what happened to Anna Walshe on January 1st, 2023, in order to cover up your murder of her and disposal of her body. Your lies triggered a multi-day, extensive missing persons investigation. A command center was set up in Cohasset and was manned by various law enforcement, to include the Cohasset Police Department.
I didn't want anyone looking for her.
And the Massachusetts State Police. And local and Massachusetts resources were deployed to Washington, D.C. to investigate at Anna's home.
That's only because that's already since she went. It's not my fault.
Because of your lies, thousands of hours of investigative resources were wasted and diverted from other deserving cases and investigations. As to the nature and circumstances of count 3, the improper disposal of Anna Walshe's body, the seriousness of your acts cannot be overstated. Your acts in dismembering your wife's body and disposing of her remains in multiple area dumpsters can only be described as barbaric and incomprehensible. You had no regard for the lifelong mental harm that your criminal acts inflicted on your then 2, 4, and 6-year-old sons, not only in taking their mother, but also, as is specific to this charge, in never being able to properly grieve that loss, to say goodbye to their mom. And I hear today the same is equally true of a sister who never was able to say a proper goodbye to her sister, a mother who never was able to say a proper goodbye to her daughter, and many friends who had the same loss. As to indictments 2 and 3, I have considered the sentencing guidelines, the aggravating factors. There are no mitigating factors in this case. And I also sought out and considered information from the Massachusetts Sentencing Commission, again, which I shared with the parties earlier this week, in particular, sentencings in 2022 and 2023 of defendants who were convicted of murder and or voluntary manslaughter, along with a Chapter 268, Section 13B conviction. This is not a guideline case. Finally, as to the first-degree murder conviction, I have considered the loss of the life of an innocent, remarkable woman, Anna Walshe, and its devastating impact on her children, as relayed to me in the letter from DCF, her family, as relayed to me in her sister's victim impact statement today, friends in their victim impact statements, in the community. In the trial testimony of Jem Mutlu and Alyssa Kirby, a little bit of Anna Walshe.
It should clarify because I don't know if people got it before. So the people that we thought were going to get up and talk about Jem Mutlu, her best friend, and they wrote written victim impact statements. So, yeah.
Is this the judge's own words?
Yeah, this is the judge. The judge. It's interesting because you didn't catch this amount of anger coming off of her during the trial for Brian, but she obviously hates Brian.
Yeah.
Warm,
Shocker.
Yeah.
powerful, and embracing spirit came to life in this historic courtroom. I have carefully listened to the moving victim impact statement, to the oral written sentencing arguments made by the Commonwealth and by Mr. Walsh. It's clear to me.
Oh, I just cut it there. She said, and by Mr. Walsh. So maybe he did a written statement. He's such a coward.
Yeah.
Unless she said Mrs. Walsh.
Well, it's his statement ends with love Brian's mother.
Love Brian's mother.
Not Brian's
Mr.
mother. He wrote
Brian.
this himself.
Historic courtroom. I have carefully listened to the moving victim impact statement, to the oral written sentencing arguments made by the Commonwealth and by Mr. Walsh. It's clear.
Yeah, she clearly says Mr. Walsh. So he provided a written statement. What a chicken. So I won. I guessed it right. He didn't give a statement.
To me that
Guy
Anna was
spent his whole adult life conning people with his slick charisma, and he can't get up and say a few words.
No.
a bright light.
Also,
the
we
law.
have seen this with other judges, like in Chandler Halderson. The judge was very even tempered throughout, but he really handed him his ass at
Right.
the end. You know,
Well,
nicely.
here-
I mean, not nicely, but in a very emotionally heartfelt but angry way.
here's the thing.
Disgusting.
If Brian is telling the truth from Brian's perspective, would you not want to get on the record for at least your children when they see this in decades? I did not kill my wife.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're never going to admit to it. You're going to prison for life. You're never getting out.
Where are their children now?
I don't know. Foster services. But I mean, if it was true, I'm not saying it is true, but if it was true from Brian's perspective, why would you not want to say something?
Of course.
lives of many people. She lifted people up. I am sure that nothing I say and no sentence I can impose, even a life sentence, will lessen the grief that Anna Walsh's family, her mother, sister, and 3 boys, extended like family, confidants, friends, and others have endured and will.
Hope definitely watches Lauren. Someday, baby, you and I are gonna be the one to good looks go shine.
continue to endure. Although I consider the letter of Diana Walsh, I simply cannot reconcile the person Diana Walsh describes in her letter with the person who stands before me.
Yes, Dor, he was.
For sentence. Mr. Walsh, you can stand. Mr. Walsh, you will live with the guilt and burden of Anna Walsh's death for the rest of your life. As to count 1,
I don't think he will.
I mean, he
He
won't.
doesn't experience guilt.
No, he's an owl.
He's just like, didn't work out this time. Maybe he can escape prison.
jury having convicted you of murder in the first degree, I sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to indictment 2, lying to the police in connection with the investigation of a life felony, I sentence you to no less than 19 years, no more than 20 years, the statutory maximum in prison.
Like her voice is quivering with anger. You hear it?
Yeah. She did have a quiet intensity. So,
Right.
You to no less than 19 years, no more than 20 years, the statutory maximum in prison, to be served consecutive to the life sentence in 001.
Consecutive sentences.
Should hope so.
The
Brian.
legislature caps the maximum sentence for the improper disposal of a body at 3 years in state prison. As to indictment 003, the improper disposal of the body of your wife, Anna Walsh, I sentence you to no less than 2 years, 364 days, and no more than 3 years in state prison to run consecutive to the sentences in 001 and 002.
Can't be surprised.
I want to make one other notation with regard to the sentences.
Okay, so she basically says that for some reason the federal thing still says his sentence is 5 years probation when it very clearly is 37 months. So she's like, I don't know why it's incorrect, but It's going to run concurrent to the state charges. So
Yeah.
whatever.
And it stands still today as showing 5 years of probation as the sentence. To the extent that confuses anything in my sentencing, I want the record to reflect that, again, it's my understanding he was sentenced to 37 months in federal prison to run concurrent with this sentence that I'm now imposing today. Madam Clerk, you may impose the sentence. Thank you.
These guys get pretty big here. He's like, oh. All right, maybe I cut it out.
Mr. Walsh, the jury having returned a guilty verdict on charge 1, murder in the first degree, you were sentenced to the state prison for the term of your natural life.
Is he wearing
Count 2, witness
handcuffs?
intimidation.
What?
Is he
He's wearing
wearing-
red. I think it's red. They look red to me. Yeah. Red. Even his hands there, it's just like,
Yeah, he just should. Ugh.
why is he not wearing prison orange?
A guilty verdict on charge 1, murder in the first degree, you were sentenced to the state prison for the term of your natural life. Count 2, witness intimidation, you having entered a guilty plea to that, sir, you're sentenced to 19 years, not less than 19, not more than 20 years, to run from and after your life sentence on count 1. On count 3, improper disposal of a body, you're sentenced to not less than 2 years and 364 days, and not more than 3 years, to run from and after the sentence on count 2. You will receive 1,076 days credit for time deemed served while awaiting the disposition of this matter. All fees and fines in this matter are waived. You're all set, Mr. Walsh. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
Fantastic.
And there we go. So, any final thoughts on the trial, Sumu?
As expected. I mean, I'm glad. I like that the judge really handed him his ass, you know?
Yeah.
I found that satisfying, but it was as expected. And of course, her sister, I feel terrible for.
I wanted to say the last thing I wanted to reflect on the trial. Yes, it was terrible. I think her sister gave a great statement. I wish we could hear the statements of her other friends, but that's how Massachusetts does it.
You don't want to kill someone who has a sister because those bitches, they don't give up, you know? Not that she had to go doing it here, but you know.
Women are crazy. I did hear something.
Especially when men kill them or there's
Yeah. They can't get over a little thing like murder.
or an only child, depending on how young the parents are. You do not want to kill an only child because they go buck wild, those parents. They got nothing but time.
I saw a clip the other day from Vinnie Politano, right? Which he's kind of hokey, but
yeah,
he made quite an interesting observation. If Brian's story was true, right, that she died suddenly and then he disposed of the body because he thought he was going to be suspected, he basically framed himself.
Right.
He took,
of course.
with the natural steps or natural death, he took every single step to frame himself.
Right.
Which you got to think in the back of your head on that 1% chance maybe she did die, right? Brian is the person stupid enough to frame himself for first-degree murder for a natural death.
There's just no way that, considering he felt he could talk himself out of the situation
Yeah.
he got himself into, there's no way he would think he couldn't talk himself out of her actually dying of natural causes and him calling 911.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for sticking it with me through this trial. Thank you for being here. We are going to go over to Lauren now.
Doing all the work. Yes.
You are welcome. And I encourage you should be redirected. If you're not, the link to the next stream is pinned above. Suma, I've sent you the link via email. I'm going to go ahead and start that intro over there. Can you still hear me? All right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to say this one's going in the trash can, never to be watched again. Thank God.
Yeah. Dumpster outside the liquor store.
Yeah, dumpster outside the liquor store. Remember to delete your archives, kiss your finger. We'll see you on the next stream. Oops. We got to do a different. 1 second. All right, here we go.
All right.